Oh, sorry. I've just realised you're probably waiting for me to start the video, aren't you? Like in the same way that we were all waiting for Leeds United to drop some transfer news yesterday, but it ended up not happening. Leeds United have been chasing the likes of Cameron Archer and Adam Armstrong for a brief period of time in the transfer window, but when it came to deadline day itself, nothing came to pass. And let's be honest, that was a little bit annoying because we were all sort of like, oh, maybe there's going to be something going on, and then it didn't. But in spite of that, we need to think that currently the squad that we have is the squad that we will have until the end of the season. So, in this video, I'm going to talk about the Leeds squad, where it's strongest, where it's weakest, and some of the potential areas where we should still be a little bit concerned coming into the back end of the season. Before I do, though, hopefully, if you enjoy the video, you can pop a like on it, subscribe if you're not yet, that's always really appreciated, and even be a channel member. You get videos earlier than everyone else, which I think is quite nice. Anyway, into the main bit of the video. Okay, so first we need to recognize the big elephant in the room, and that is the fact that everyone around us has bought some players, or loaned some players, or has done recruitment. This we basically already knew was happening. We've known for a little bit of a while, but it stings a little bit more now that we haven't signed anyone. But if you look a little bit more into the details of who exactly various teams signed, I start to feel a little bit more comfortable. So, for example, if you look at Sunderland, they signed Enzo Lafi as their main player and Isidore as another one. Isidore, genuinely very good player, would probably have improved us, but we've not signed him, so it's okay. Enzo Lafi is a very good player. Let's not get that twisted. Enzo Lafi is a very good footballer who, let's be honest, will be playing at the top level in a couple of years' time. But I don't know if he would have gotten into our midfield, and I'll be honest with you, our midfield isn't where we need to strengthen at the minute. We've got Tanaka in there, we've got Rothwell in there. If they get injured, well, we've got Gruev in there. If he also gets injured, somehow miraculously, well, we've also got Ampadu. And then beyond that, we've got Gilavogi. We have enough depth in the middle of the park to not look at the likes of Enzo Lafi and think, we should have signed him. It's like when there was a conversation around James Ward-Prowse on deadline day. That was never going to happen anyway because of squad registration rules. But even if he was available to us, I don't think that's the move that we need to make because the middle of the park were completely fine. It's the same as when people were saying we should have been making a move for Marcus Edwards. If you look at the football pitch and you think, where are we the strongest? The wide areas is where it is. Because if you look fullbacks, Marcus Edwards not a fullback. I know he's a winger, but I'll get there. Look at the fullbacks. You've got Jaden Bogle on one flank, who just does the bombing on to such a good standard. You've got Junior Firpo on the other, who's just come off the back of getting 3 assists in a single match. And then behind them, you've got Isaac Schmidt, who is a very, very good player. He's just not had a chance yet. Sam Byram, who can play on both sides and is a reliable option no matter what. I don't think we're in that bad of a situation when it comes to the wide areas, at least in terms of fullback. And then you go forwards and you look at the fact that Willy Nonto, an Italy international, and Laji Ramazani, a genuinely very good footballer, are stuck on the bench because our first team wingers are performing to such a standard. The conversation around, well, this club has bought this player, that's not what we need. We didn't need a Marcus Edwards, so it's completely fine that Burnley have gotten him. And you know what? I genuinely trust Scott Parker enough to do the job that we want him to do and to make Marcus Edwards not really a footballer anymore, because that's what Scott Parker does best. Outside of that, there is the conversation around the positions that we do need, and that is the 10 and the 9. But Daniel Farke at no point said that we desperately are in need of a number 10. All he said was, if there is a player that is at the right price point, at the right level of quality, and the right personality, then we'll go for them, which is completely understandable. And you know what? We did go for a player along those lines. We did go for Cameron Archer. I've got it on good authority that before deadline day, we put in 2 bids for him, and on deadline day itself, we put in a further 2. The main issue was we didn't want to have an obligation to buy if we went up, because if Cameron Archer was here for however long, we'll say the first 5 months, it'd be like 3 months actually to take us to the end of the season. Either way, if Cameron Archer was here till the end of the season and didn't perform at the right standard, we'd still be forced into signing him, which wouldn't work to our benefit. So that's wise to sort of avoid that when a number 9 at this stage is one of the it'd be nice to have one conversations rather than the we desperately need one conversations. The number 10 is another one. I would have really liked us to get a number 10 because let's be honest, at some point Brendan Aronson is going to get a knock or an injury and he's not going to be available for a match. But then again, we do have players that can do that. For example, Joel Piroux, who in the last match got 2 beautiful pre-assists from the number 10 position. We can slide him back, put in Mateo Joseph, and admittedly that's biting into the number 9 depth, but at the same time, we're still getting the players on the pitch and we're still good enough to win those matches. We can also pop in a winger into the 10. Everyone is desperate for Willy Gnonto to play as a 10, but then we don't sign a number 10 and everyone is simultaneously saying, well, we don't have any options at 10 now. Either you want to play him or we don't have any options. It's one of the two. It cannot be both because those are two diametrically opposed statements. So when it comes to what the issues are in the squad right now, I think the biggest concern we've got is what if we suffer an unprecedented injury crisis? We already kind of have. We've already had the Ampadu and Gruev out simultaneously weeks, which was a bad time because, Jesus Christ, those are some important players to lose. But then Rothwell stepped up and Tanaka stepped up. And if Aronson gets a knock, then who knows, maybe Ramazani steps up in the 10. Hell, we've even had mention of Gnonto and Ramazani potentially playing in the 9. James has also played there, and you know what? He was pretty damn good at it. Well, I say that. His finishing at the time wasn't great, but his press was good. And he's better at finishing now, so you never know. The way that I'm approaching this isn't that our squad has a load of holes in it. And yes, it's a thinner squad than the majority of the squads in the league. But we are already in a spot where there are players missing out on the bench that are senior experienced players. Isaac Schmidt has already missed out on being on the bench. When Patrick Bamford gets back, one of him and Joseph are going to have to not be on the bench. If we sign a 10, and looking back at the Cardiff match, our attacking options on the bench were, off the top of my head, Ramazani, Gnonto, Joseph. We sign a number 10, we need to replace one of those attacking options. And who of those, with the way that they're playing, do you say, actually, don't quite think that you deserve to make it into the squad right now? We have quality players that can cover all the positions that we need, and we've got not tons, but a bit of depth. And whilst this is a little bit of a gamble, I feel like in the long term, it is one that is almost certainly going to pay off for us. We don't want to invest in players that aren't good enough quality, who will then become effectively anchors, drawing themselves a wage in the Premier League when it's not hugely earned. This lets us be a little bit more flexible if we go up. I feel like we do go up, by the way. Like we've got a strong enough side to do so. And this gives us the flexibility to go in whatever direction we feel like in the summer. It gives us a little bit more confidence in the players. And honestly, I don't feel too bad about the deadline. I'm completely fine with it. The only thing that annoys me is the fact that I did a 4-hour stream only to hear 0 news. That was annoying. But yeah, this has been a fairly loosey-goosey unplanned video because I thought it'd be a quite fun thing to do, and I'm trying to do a video and a stream a day still, and it's stressy because I've had a big worky day, but it's fine. Either way, hope you did enjoy the video. If you did, pop a like on it. Let me know what you genuinely think about our direction at the moment in the comments down below. I kind of want to know, where do you think we finish in terms of position, how many points, all that sort of stuff. Subscribe if you're not yet. You can even be a channel member. Hope you enjoyed, and I will see you later. Toodaloo. That was the least structured video I've ever done. But you know what? I quite like going loosey-goosey. It's fun.